The 10 most hated professions in the world. Many constituents have a love-hate relationship with the politicians running their country. In most countries, people holding public office were elected into their career by voters. So it's no wonder voters are critical of politicians, who earn an average salary well into 6 digits. Public perception tends to see elected officials as power-hungry, inept, or corrupt. A study found that 72% of Americans believe that politicians care more about being re-elected than they do about making sound decisions. This much maligned but highly sought-after and lucrative career is one of the most hated professions in the world. Lawyers are often perceived as arrogant or prideful and have a reputation for caring about money more than their clients. A study even showed that a third of Americans said that lawyers contributed little or nothing to society. And while that's not altogether true, it's a fact that people often go to lawyers under the worst circumstances in their lives, and that might color perceptions just a bit. Their job is to report the news of the day in a fair and accurate manner. However, many journalists are seen as untrustworthy. In fact, only 34% of Americans surveyed trust mass media to report the news in an accurate and unbiased way. Despite this lack of appreciation from the general public, many journalists say they would choose their careers all over again. In fact, 70% of journalists surveyed said they are satisfied with their jobs, and 75% said they're proud of the work they do. The stereotype of the sleazy salesperson pushing a sale no matter what lives on in society's collective memory. Indeed, many salespeople, whether they're selling mattresses, audio equipment, or a new set of wheels, are looked upon negatively by many people. However, despite the cold shoulder, many salespeople actually don't care if they're liked. A study showed that 89% of the best performing salespeople said they don't need to be liked. Bosses tend to get a bad rap from many employees, and CEOs of big companies are no exception. There's been an increasingly negative view of corporations in society, and the amount of money that the leaders of these businesses make is a big factor in that. Surveys have shown that many people believe it is not justifiable for CEOs to make tens of millions of dollars a year. They're blamed for traffic headaches and ear-splitting noises in residential areas, so it's no wonder that construction workers are one of the most hated professions. This dislike for the trade unfortunately has negative consequences as more and more construction companies struggle to fill vacancies. Up to 70% of companies are having a hard time hiring, and some of that is due to an overall stigma attached to manual labor jobs, even though the trades can be a lucrative career track. With soaring rents and hard-to-come-by properties, it's no wonder that landlords get a bad rap. A landlord's job is to provide a rental property for their tenants, collect rent, and ensure that maintenance is done to the unit on a regular basis. The dislike towards this profession likely comes from the landlords who don't abide by the terms of the rental contract. Despite the hate landlords get, studies have shown that the amount of people pursuing this line of work has grown, and the job is lucrative, with more than 76% reporting a profitable rental income. We might like our pearly whites to shine, but many people really hate going to the dentist. This profession is one of the most disliked because there are countless people that genuinely fear sitting in that chair with their mouth opened wide. Approximately 36% have dental fear or anxiety, which can result in poor dental health outcomes and is a barrier to booking timely appointments. Some of the ways people can overcome this fear are taking anti-anxiety medication, using noise-cancelling headphones, bringing a trusted buddy, and finding the right dentist. A stockbroker is tasked with buying and selling stocks for their clients. Seems simple enough, but stockbrokers are among the most hated professions in the world because they are often seen as greedy and obsessed with money. Studies have shown that being a stockbroker can also have negative health implications, with one study finding that 38% met the criteria for depression, and that those stockbrokers who made the most money also slept the least amount of hours a night. No one likes paying seemingly exorbitant amounts of money just to ensure their health, car or house, but it's a necessary requirement in the modern world. And that necessity often lends itself to people disliking insurance professionals because they feel they take advantage of people's worst fears. A study done by Deloitte found that only 11% of people have strong trust in their insurance brokers. However, recent studies have shown that confidence levels are rising amongst the public, perhaps in part due to the pandemic and insurance brokers being deemed an essential service. People trust them to sell their home and help them through the process of buying a new one, and yet many home buyers dislike realtors. Many cite ignoring the client's best interests, over or undervaluing tactics, and lack of communication as main reasons why they distrust and even hate real estate agents. In spite of the lackluster view the public may hold, there was a record number of real estate agents in 2021 in the US, with nearly 60% more joining their ranks than in the previous 2 years.